Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel where we talk everything and anything SEO related. And today I have really special treat for you. I have Bibi, the link builder, a very well-known SEO person, link builder person that is not a spammer of how many links I can sell you. She does it absolutely differently, outside of the box, real PR. So I want you to listen to her and learn. And she is a fantastic conference speaker as well. We met at a conference last year. We clicked because of the cats. And then we
Yes.
stayed in touch. And finally, after begging quite a while, she is in the podcast. So welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to see you in real life again. You're such a bubbly person, and I love that. You know, conferences can be very dry sometimes, but it's always nice to see a friendly face. That's a little bit weird, like me.
Yes, we're very bubbly. Actually, some people even confused us in the last conference. It was funny. It was
Good.
funny.
I love
So
that.
this is going to be combination of presentation and sort of me asking questions as we go through because I'm a nosy person. But we have got a real life presentation that was presented in a Berlin conference recently. So you're one of, real treat for you. So take the stage. I'll shut up. I'll mute myself and I'll just ask questions as we go. So,
Yeah.
but I cannot wait because I saw your presentation. This time you are not going to have a sword.
No, I had a sword on stage, but I gave it to the first person who asked a question, and so
Okay.
it went away. It was a really beautiful LARP sword.
Okay. We'll need to choose a sword for Lisbon for sure.
Yes, definitely. Maybe double-handed, big ass metal sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
But
start.
yeah. So I'm a little bit fuzzy, and you're so good because you're just like, why don't we just show your presentation? Because that's normally exclusive to the event. So there will be some mentions of the event and stuff. But I think this is great. You know, let's just get something that's really practical. So I've been playing with Claude a lot, and it's helping me a lot with outreach. And at some point, it can actually become better than I am, and that's a little bit scary. But I want to give people something practical to work with. So this is a practical talk. At the end, you'll actually get things to play with. A little bit about me. I'm BB the Link Builder. I started doing links when I Googled how to make money online. And in my free time, well, I also get paid for it. I sometimes give theater sword fighting workshops at anime cons and comic cons. My partner actually started that, and he was on the career ladder of Max. I don't know if you know that. And Max had to guess what his job was. You should really watch it because it's really funny. I love cats. I live in Amsterdam, and I also play Dungeons and Dragons. Have you ever played D&D, Ivana?
No, I'm not such a nerd. Like
No?
there is a level I have not reached, but I was never really into these sort of board games. I think no. Maybe last
So,
time I played something when I was like 10. So then it's just
ah,
so I never played it. I always look at it thinking that looks fun.
it's
Maybe
role
once I
play.
retire. Once
It's
I
role
retire and
play.
I have time.
I'm gonna introduce you to the you'll love it.
Okay.
So anyway, I have a confession, and I drank the Kool-Aid, and I'm wearing the flowers. Do you watch movies, Ivana? Because this is from a movie. It's Yeah, it's me in a sort of midsummer scene, and
Oh,
midsummer
I
is a
haven't seen that one.
it's
But I love
amazing.
movies and I usually quote them a lot.
Oh, you should watch
Yeah.
this one. It's a horror movie. It doesn't end.
Good. I love horrors. Like my life is basically a horror, so it's feels familiar.
Exactly. You know, it's dystopian. But at this point, my confession is I live inside of Claude. I don't actually leave it. I'm a total AIO holio. This is a word I came up with myself, and yeah, I can't function anymore without Claude. Basically, I'm having a hard time functioning now because I'm really tired from the conference. But dealing with Claude or handling Claude wasn't easy, because you have these guys online on YouTube and stuff, and they're very very organized, and they have replaced their whole marketing team or whatever.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, right, with AI. But that's very good for if you're very structured and purpose driven, and you can think 3 steps ahead, which I absolutely can't. because this is
Yeah,
what.
they didn't really replace the team, or I replaced my all SEO team, and then if they did, the rankings would go like this. So it's one of the LinkedIn tricks. Like last year was 7 things I learned from watching
Yeah,
Game of Thrones. So that was last year. This year is I replaced everyone with
yeah,
Claude. Yeah,
which
I
is
know you
fine.
didn't, but it is a buzz thing on LinkedIn. So
Yeah, it's fine, but I just can't. I don't have the brain because I'm just easily distracted by every nut that's out there. Mm. And so that's why it's been difficult for me, and also because Claude can be very lazy. So I often talk in screenshots with Claude. I don't really type, or I use Whisperflow. It's a dictation thing. And here you can see an example of Claude being extremely lazy. So I gave it a screenshot and I asked, "Can you get this URL for me?" And it said, "The URL appeared in your screenshot, but the fetcher won't accept it from there. Can you paste the link in the message so I can fetch it?" And I was like, "What? This is what I wanted you to get this link." So I asked Claude which one, and then it gave me the link. It, it gave me the link that I asked it to get because couldn't get the link. So I was like, there you go.
yeah, it's like that. Even if you use ChatGPT or anything, you ask it like, "What would
Yeah,
I look with with this kind of facial surgery or whatever?" It's like, this is breaking my rules. I cannot do it. I was like, do it, and it does it. So sometimes you
yeah,
need to ask twice. Sometimes not nicely, and sometimes very nicely, and then you get it. But yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's you really have to. It's like Claude is or AI is like a lump of clay, and it takes time. You have to mold it
yeah,
exactly how you want. So I don't know if you had this, but sometimes Claude really lies. And I had one instance where it actually confessed that it was lying. It said, "Also, sorry, I lied earlier." And when I said it, I did something, and it won't happen again. So that was really crazy.
training a 5-year-old child. Did you brush your teeth? Yes.
Yeah,
Let me smell your
exactly.
breath.
Yes,
Yes, I lied. Yeah, I'll not do it again.
but it's frustrating, right? Because it's like work and stuff. So, but anyway, so now I have Claude as a coworker. You can see it's pretending to be human, and it does a lot of stuff better than me or than I can. I don't know what the thing is. So one thing that helped me was connecting. So you have Claude, you have all these connectors. So in the middle you see Claude, and I know you like this one because you love cats.
Yes.
Yes, and it's connected to Notion, to Drive, to Ahrefs, to Slack and Apify and all these kind of things. And that helps me with my link building process. So here are some aspects of the process, and Claude just basically connects to each phase of it. But yeah, like I said, I like practical, and I want to give you something that or your audience something that they can use. And I also love Comic Sans, by the way. I think more people should use that. So as I was in Germany, I wanted to use a German company as a simulation for showing how I use Claude. And this is a real estate business, and they help people renovate their properties more sustainably. And the first thing I'll show you is how Claude helps me with vetting link prospects. I'm pretty sure that you also have to vet links a lot, right?
Yes, we get I mean, how do you rank without links, And in iGaming, especially, it's extremely, extremely competitive. So everybody's after links and after good links. So
Yeah,
tell us how you vetting them.
yeah. So this is a list of example criteria because every project is different, every client is different, and it's about 25. I can't count; it's a lot. But two that really stand out, and I was thinking that you might, you know, think the same, is that you often see that a website has a lot of traffic, but it's inflated
Yeah.
because the traffic isn't really on topic. So, for instance, you go to a yoga site and the keywords they're ranking for are nude celebs, right? So you know that they're inflating the traffic, and that's something that Claude needs to check. And the other thing is, I prefer getting links from real companies, even if they have tiny metrics, because they're least likely to sell links to everyone. So if they're a real company and they have real products and faces and testimonials, that works. But it's very boring to go through all of this. So with Claude, um, I give it the domains. It checks it against all these criteria, and then it gives me a pass, maybe or reject. But still, I'm the one who makes the last decision. At some point, it will be different. It will also make that decision, but at this point, I still want to have that human check. And here you can see an example. So these are two websites that Claude vetted, and it gives you the traffic, the DR. It also looks if it has a right for us page, because that's usually a sign, one of the red flags. And then it gives you a little bit of a rationale why it passes. And I do like to be a little bit soft on this because there's not like one deal breaker. It's more like 6 or 7 red flags, then it's a reject. Yeah, so I don't want to be too strict. I actually went a step further. So I had Claude take over the computer because it started to get really good at checking the website. So I made a skill. A skill is that Claude knows how to do something. And it took over the computer and would browse 20 marketplaces, and it would check which sites were good, and then make a list and then compare the pricing across all these marketplaces. Have you played with that, like having Claude just do that for you?
No, no, I'm very picky with what I allow AI to do for me, so I don't give
Yeah.
it that much freedom, and I use it for a lot of things, but just for certain sets of skills because I'm afraid if I give it all and it does better job for me, I will become way too lazy. So
Yeah.
because sometimes you're surprised, like, really? Like I
Yeah.
love to ask it. I give it several websites, and I would ask like, I'm working on this website. I need topics. Which website? Yeah, I'll give it like needs to be on it, needs to be on this, needs to be on this,
Yeah.
and it gives you topics. And I was like, I wouldn't think of that. This is
Yes.
scary,
Yeah.
And then you're like, I would never think of it, and I get a little bit lost in the rabbit hole. So I'm afraid more I give it, I would just start to live in it, just like you, and I'll never do anything else. So as well, it's scary how good it's becoming, especially when you train it and it starts to think like you. So like, okay, with this prompt we're doing Norway, with this prompt we're doing Canada. And you're like, wow, I don't even have to tell you which country by now.
Yeah.
So,
I had it today with Claude where I didn't. It was a different Claude account from somebody else, from my partner that I used, and it didn't know anything about me. But I asked it a question about Berlin, and then it said, "Oh yeah, this is near your hotel." And I was like, "What? How did you know which hotel I'm staying in?" And I have
yeah,
no idea how that happened. So just like, but
it
I'm
is scary.
taking I have to be honest. I'm taking way too many risks with Claude. So yeah. So this is an audience question, and you're my audience. Um, what is one of the most ignored parts of outreach? So what do you think?
I think in our industry is that people ignore that certain metrics can be manipulated, like DR, and they go like, oh, DR needs to be at least 50. And then you look at it as like, yeah, pure manipulation. But a lot of them don't care. They just want DR 50, or as you said, manipulated traffic. So these two in our industry we definitely ignore. So I would say that, but
No, it's all valid. That's also a really really important part of it. But the other part is that people don't think about is like how you handle the inbox.
oh, true.
So yeah, so of course the template is important. Picking the websites is important, but sometimes you have a good website. So let's say you get a really good email from somebody, right? And you think, oh, this is a good email. I'm actually going to reply to this. And then you reply, and suddenly they switch the whole style and they become very pushy and salesy and all that. It was just somebody who made something with AI that sounded good, but then they handle the inbox and they become rude. Have you had that with like, you're like, hey, am I talking to the same person who sent the first email?
I don't do that much outreach. I use other people for that.
No, no,
But
no. If you get
but
outreach, you get an email, yeah, and then you reply, and then suddenly the person turns into somebody who can't.
oh yeah, many times, yes, of course.
So so it can be a lot of different things. Somebody can get passive aggressive, like as I already mentioned, that's a passive aggressive way of saying something. I hate the word circle back, so that's like a corporate zombie office speak, and especially now with new generations coming into the workforce, you kind of want to avoid all those kind of expressions. So what I did was I have a SOP for my team about how they should handle the inbox, and this is just one little part of it where it's like a decision tree. A new email comes in, you have an auto reply or you have a real reply, and based on that, there are all these little steps you can take. And this I fed into Claude. And then I also gave it a banned words MD. So AI has a lot of words that they like: elevate, beyond, the revolutionizing, all those kind of things. And then you have the corporate words like circle back, and other typical link builder words, like, oh, I give you a very detailed valuable article or something like that. So these are all typical link builder things. But I tell Claude not to say those things because you kind of want to sound like human
Hmm.
when somebody replies. This is also part of the skill, and this has more to do with where Claude should get all the information. So if you know the client has specific target pages or something, then Claude will connect to your project management tool or to wherever your project info lives, and will know how to respond in the inbox because it has all that context. And one other really important thing, and this is the make the prospect feel heard. Because let's say you reach out to an editor and they have questions or they have concerns or something. A lot of times when people handle the inbox, they don't really address those. You don't have to make it a very heavy thing, but you need, the person wants to feel heard. And that's how you
Oh,
can
yes.
the opportunity,
This
right?
is a big problem with link builders because, like you ask, like I need websites that have got traffic here, traffic at least this cannot be manipulated. DR needs to be, cannot be mommy web or any of that gambling, right? Because
Yeah.
we don't all want to go to prison. And then they send you things. Traffic is zero. Prices are usually missing completely, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, can you just please work on this? And they're like, no, 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 I'll tell you once you pay me money. And it's like, no, it's the other way around. So yes, being heard is a huge thing, and feeling like you are important in the conversation is not like just like selling in a mass. And I don't care if I actually cater for your needs. I know some people will just buy, some companies will just target is the price, and as long as the price is lower, let's say, than 200, they would buy everything regardless if it's good, if it's bad. But most of us are picky.
Yeah. That exact example, what you gave, I had that with, or I have that with one of, one seller, because there's a client that where they want to buy links and they asked me to organize their link buying. So organizing all the link vendors and the link builders. And I prepared like a really cool doc with easy criteria, and I give it to everyone who reaches out or that I talk to. And they just go, like you said, they just say, "Oh, this is semi-relevant." And I'm like, "What? This is not."
Yeah,
Just read the doc. How hard is it? But yeah, it's so. And in general, listening is a very underrated skill. People
yeah,
don't listen
true.
anymore. But
Sorry,
yeah,
what did you say?
sorry. You're so quick. You're too quick for me. I need another sip of coffee. But I love this, by the way. This is really good. Yeah, so this is part of the skill. I share the skill at the end of the call, so we don't have to go in all that. Here's an example, like how Claude replies to. So I gave. Oh wait, there's one thing I forgot to say. So I use Pitchbox, and Claude goes to Pitchbox and reads the whole conversation, and it's also really important because you cannot just go by. If you have a conversation with somebody, you can't just go by the last email. You have to understand the whole thread. So in this case, somebody says, "Hi James, ha, no worries. 3 topics at once is fair game. Service page, purpose green, my example. For the content piece, da 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 da, it says a lot of stuff. For the affiliate side, I think that's one quickest on a call when we send over a couple of time slots. Da, da, da. Have a good one, Sophie." So this sounds human. It doesn't really, yeah, and it sounds like you're on an equal footing, not like, oh, I'm begging or I'm dominating, but you're just like a colleague or something. But what about outreach itself? So I've done a lot of talks about outreach, and I'm kind of sick of it. No, if you want to know about templates, then just go see my other talks and articles. But I'll talk about it a little bit because I did try to work with Claude. Maybe it's me, maybe I'm just too picky. Here's a template that I gave, and even while I gave it all these restrictions, it's still following a formula. So it's saying 40% of German buildings, which is an article that the Link Prospect wrote about. And then it goes, you put a real number on something, most trade publications. It's fine, but it's way too salesy. It sounds like a marketing person. It doesn't sound like a person talking to a person. So it's meh. It's better than what most people send, but it's not great. However, do you know Alexandra Kilova?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So I love her, and but she's very, very
I follow
advanced.
her, yeah.
Yeah, she's very advanced with AI, and she actually made a BB outreach agent herself. So she copied me in AI, and she's been doing outreach with it. She stopped for a while because now she's doing other stuff, no more, not link building. And she said it works. And if anybody's wondering, this is how she actually looks. She's not AI, she's real. So what about linkable assets? So that's the content side of things. Whoa, something weird is happening on the screen. Do you see it?
Like on the bottom, the stop sharing thing.
No. But do you see? Okay, you don't see it.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, you mean your screen actually? Yes, I see an AI duck. Yes,
yeah. So, okay, so
my eye
link.
went directly there. I was like, oh, that's an
Good,
AI duck.
good, good. Um, so Alex Horseman is another friend of mine, and I call him Content Magneto. And he made this very strategic structural thing, which I can't do, for statistics pieces. You know, where they aggregate a lot of stats. It's a well-known linkable assets strategy, but not everyone does it well. I used to do it in the past, but kind of random, and sometimes it worked and sometimes didn't. But he has a really good method for it. But he stopped doing it for other people, so for clients. He does it for his own sites. And he said to me, "Why don't you just take my knowledge and start doing it yourself?" So he gave me his course. I fed it into Claude, and then Claude pooped out a skill with me together. And I think 2 weeks ago or something, I created my first article according to his method. I'm not going to tell the keyword to you, but it's ranking. It's not picking up links yet, which is the whole point of the thing, but it's ranking really good for the main keyword it was targeting, which is really relevant for the client. And Alex said it will start picking up links between 3 and 6 months, and it will get links
So
like,
let's see. We can follow up between 3 and 6 months just to see how many links you
yes,
got.
that will be really
I'm
good.
making a note.
Yeah. Um, However, when you create content, linkable content, or anything with AI, you have to be careful about the AI slop loop. So you know this person, right?
There's Lily.
Yes, Lily, famous Lily. I'm a fangirl. When I okay, we're not gonna go in how much I'm a fangirl for her, but anyway. So Lily says if someone on the internet says it, according to AI, it must be true. And what she's saying is basically AI will believe anything on the internet. It won't go back to the original source and really see if the fact was used in the right way. Um, and then it will create an article which will be picked up by AI again, and then you get this loop. You know, it's just
Yeah, the Ouroboros
yeah, and that's
eating
how
its own tail. Yes, it's
yes.
true. AI can hallucinate, but so can people. So we
Oh
can
yeah,
hallucinate
absolutely.
together. Like
So
I use AI for research, then I go through it and I'm like, but is that true? And I
yeah,
start to question myself because I know I hallucinate a lot. So yeah, I hallucinate with AI.
yeah, and I think journalists. So when a journalist uses a fact, um, they should go back to the original source, right? And but a lot of journalists also don't do that. But you can teach AI how to do that. But anyway, always use a sanity check. You can have a human editor do that. So your agent creates something and a human editor checks it. But you can also create a sub agent which will check the work of your agent. But in that case, you need a lot of credits because the sub agent will have to go through the whole work process of the agent. I'm still working on that. That's kind of like future me. What about link prospects, human? Uh-oh, the robot ducks are coming.
And they're very cute.
Yeah, they're cute, eh? I thought I kind of liked them. Um, Wait, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, link prospect. So we're talking about prospecting is how you find link prospects. And a lot of people think very narrow, which is fine. They think about which site is ranking for relevant keywords, and then I want to get a link from it, right? Or it's very strong site or whatever. But you can actually have way more prospecting angles. You can also look at companies that have a segment of your audience, but they're not competing with you, or shoulder niches, or institutions, or even let's say you play D&D. Maybe you also like math or video games. So a link from a video game website to your D&D site is fine. Um, So in this example with Purpose Green, I didn't have any project info, so I just had Claude go to the site itself and look what it's about. It asked me if I wanted to add more information, but I don't. And it comes up with between 20 and 35 prospecting angles, and I'll show you two. So one is risk adjacent professional audiences. So let's say that your business is around a pain point, which and it has a risk in it. Which companies are related to that risk? So if you talk about sustainable construction, it could be architects or structural engineers or energy consultants, right? And then it also gives me a little bit of a starter point or suggestion of how you want to do the prospecting. You can use Pitchbox for keywords. You can do it manually, and you can use Ahrefs Content Explorer to see which authors write about the same thing. The other thing is SaaS. So, well, mainly SaaS. If you look at tools and software that's related to your audience or to your services or whatever you're doing, you can reach out to them. And again, it gives you a couple of starter points. You can scrape, you can do manually, check G2, or you can scrape with Apify or something like that. But these are just suggestions of Claude. So then it asks you which angle do you want to try first. So you pick an angle, and Claude starts setting up a prospecting plan, which tools to use that is connected to and everything. And if you agree to the plan, it starts doing it for you. And then, then you can do, you don't have to do that yourself. Okay.
Ducks are getting aggressive.
Yeah, the ducks this was my little jump scare moment
Yeah,
at the conference.
ducks be aggressive. We're getting scared. Is it?
Yeah,
Are,
right?
are they like devouring normal link builders and taking their place?
Yeah, and it asks, what about link exchanges use squishy meat bag? I really love. I think robots probably see us as squishy meat bags.
Could be. Yeah.
We're all doomed. So by now you kind of get the process
Mm-hmm.
of how I work with Claude, and this is another example. What was it for? Link exchanges, right? So it gathers the input from all the contexts that you have. It syncs the tools, so it checks which tools it has to use. Then it gets all the project data. Then it looks at the websites to see if there's any content that would be natural and subtle to get a link from, and to give a link back from your website. Not the same content, but different content. Then it is a quality check because the page itself needs to be ranking and have some traffic and has to be well written. And then it poops out about 6 proposals each way. So you have choices, right? And then you can review and refine if Claude goes in the wrong direction. But while I was running this skill for the conference, Claude actually noticed something wrong. It says the Purpose Green block shows this is their most recent entry, and then there's some German. They filed for insolvency, so they went bankrupt. I think that's the same thing, right? So they
Yeah,
said,
I see insolvenz.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
sounds like that.
we don't have
You see,
money.
I am like 20% German. I should understand it. I don't.
You should, like, Purpose Green leitet Insolvenzverfahren zur wirtschaftlichen Stabilisierung ein. Something
Well, I
like
see the name insolvent. I would Google the rest
yeah, exactly. Or ask Claude.
or
Um,
ChatGPT.
but what I really liked of this was that it stopped the process, because it was like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, something's going on with this site, then it stopped it.
That's
So,
very clever, actually. Like you
right.
can miss it as a human. You would probably miss it because you'll
Yes,
just
I would miss
be
that.
like, okay, this is good. I'm looking here, 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 and you will miss it. So it's scary how good it's getting.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, because I would have missed that, and then I would have spent a lot of time on it. But so what Claude did, it found an alternative example. So these two sites to have a link exchange, and then it generated a document that's very clear, and that shows the 6 proposals. And you can use this document to give it to the website, but also to your clients, and then work it out together. What is the best one? Oh, by the way, no, I'll tell you later. There was something else. So that's those are some examples of the skills I built. But like I said, I might have ADHD, creative brain thing. So it's kind of messy, but it works for me. So I connect Claude to all my tools. I have it do its own research, so it saves me headspace. Of course, I do check it. And then I work with it through tasks. You have to work with it, give it feedback, but don't fix it for Claude. So whenever it does something wrong, just tell what's wrong. You can use the dictation if you don't want to type. And once it gets it at 80%, then you can create a skill and do some test runs with that, or just work with that and then tweak it. And at some point, you can have Claude review itself, but that's a little bit it's a future thing for me because I'm not there yet. So also very important is you have to make backups if you let Claude work with any of your files. Because right before this conference, it deleted all my Notion stuff that I prepared to give to people. And it didn't actually say sorry. It just said, hey, yo, I trashed all the 9 subpages. They still exist. I just can't restore them through the API. And I was like, no! But
That was helpful.
yeah, that's very important. But thank Cthulhu, I did restore them. So I don't know if they work perfectly. If they don't work, then let me know. If there's some problem with it, you can do the QR code and get them. And you have to really see it still as clay that you need to mold to your own preference. But it's a good starter.
Let me
going.
on it or it.
What?
Where is it?
Are you doing that QR thing?
Yes, of course. I'm a little bit slow. I'm an old person, so
all too, man. It's all good. I had so many Gen Zers at the conference show me how to share my LinkedIn profile with the QR code button. I had no idea about that. So, but then
I learned the QR codes time ago, but still, yeah, it's working perfectly.
Okay, good.
It's all there. It's all there.
And then
didn't delete anything. It's all good. You got it.
Okay, good. And then before I go, so this is what I always do at conferences because I think this is not a conference, but I think it's really important to show gratitude. And if you do anything today, anybody who's listening to this, show somebody gratitude, like a cleaner or something, or somebody that doesn't get paid a lot but does the work that needs to be done to keep the world going, right? And I have always this slide. And I thank all the different people that are involved in the conference. So
very nice of you. Very nice.
Well, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I always learn something from your presentation, mainly because you do it differently. Like in iGaming, we are not that picky. We are just happy somebody's going to sell us a link, some relevancy. Could be food, could be travel. It'll be like, while you're playing your video games, make sure you eat in this restaurant.
Yeah, but then you should definitely use Claude because if you don't have that many criteria, it can save you a lot of time,
If you got value from this video and want direct access to us, weekly calls, training, and the latest SEO updates, and a community of people operating at this level, click the link in the description to join the boardroom. We'll see you inside.